Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Peace be unto you. We begin with the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. My name is Abdullah Muslim, and the name of this program is Ramadan, the origin, the practice, and the benefit. You know, in the previous episodes, we spoke of some of the practices, some of the things that led up to Ramadan, it being the time of year when the Quran was first revealed. And during this particular period of time, you see, the Islamic calendar is based on what we call Hijr. It's based on the phases of the moon. And every 32 years, what happens is like for this year, Ramadan will come when the weather is somewhat warm. It'll be here, it'll be with us in, let's see, this is February, March. It'll be here in April, and inshallah. And what'll happen is, it'll be another 32 years before it'll be here, before Ramadan comes at the same time again. So what happens is, as a result, Muslims experience the fast of Ramadan during all different weather patterns, whether it's hot or cold or moderate weather. And also at the length of the day will change. It changes in different places at different times of the year. So you have a full range of experience for fasting and for the prayers that we make and the other practices that are involved in Ramadan. You know, one of the things is that during Ramadan, I've mentioned this before also, it's a time when we kind of, we pull back as much as we can from the worldly affairs. And we focus our attention on our ibadah. Ibadah meaning our work and our worship of Almighty Allah. And during that period, one of the things that we have to do, as I said, it's the time when the Quran was first revealed. And of course, we read the Quran during Ramadan. If it's possible, you see, the Quran is divided up into 30 parts. Each part is called a juz. And it has 115 chapters, 114 chapters. Some are very long, like Surah Al-Baqarah, and some are very short, like Surah Al-Asr. The way that the Quran is arranged is that the longer chapters or surahs, meaning a step, that's the word in what it translates to in English, as step. And the word ayat translates into sign. In other words, something that Allah has revealed to us. And what happens is, during that period of time, what we do is we try to focus our attention on what Allah is directing us to do. You know, I come from America. I come from New York City. That's where I was born. That's where I spent a significant portion of my life. And I didn't begin to practice Islam until I was in my late 20s, early 30s. And I did not become a Muslim personally because I was dissatisfied with my relationship with God. I was a Christian. I was practicing Christianity as much as I understood. But I wanted to be in the company of people who were better than the ones that I was with. I wanted to be in the company of people who would not encourage me to indulge in the bad habits I had, like smoking cigarettes, or drinking alcohol, or listening to music that really had no significance whatsoever. all right, or music that would encourage you to do things that were not in your interest as a human being. I mean, listen to some of the songs that are sung even today. A lot of this music encourages people to do very horrible things, even to the point of killing the law enforcement officials in the society. And that's only some of the things. Music encourages, for the most part, bad behavior. Talking about foolish things. I found it interesting that if you were to ask the average person who calls himself a Christian about some of the things in the Bible, most of them wouldn't know anything about it. But you ask them about how many home runs this particular baseball athlete hit, or how many soccer goals this particular soccer player kicked, or how many baskets this particular basketball player got, or about the tennis, or they can give you all the statistics. These are not the things that are going to get you into Jannah. These are not the things that are going to get us past the questioning on Judgment Day. Now, going back to the premise that I'm trying to put forward here, you see, during Ramadan, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with sports, don't get me wrong, but what I am saying is that during Ramadan, even these things take a back seat to our worship, our business, our interest in sports activities. We, during the days of Ramadan, are forbidden from eating, we're forbidden from drinking, we're forbidden from having relations with our mates, we're forbidden from like say you're a hot-tempered person and you have a tendency to get angry very easily. Even that, is something that you have to become more conscientious of. And you have to put yourself in a position where now, look, I'm not getting angry. I don't care what. I'm not getting angry. No, I don't care what. Even to the point, I have a friend one time who got angry. I mean, angry to the point where you could see the skin color change. And this is during Ramadan. And this particular individual just sat on the ground, just sat down on the ground and wouldn't say or move until they got themselves under control. This is something I witnessed. So, as I said, I became a Muslim because my concern was to be in the company of people who would encourage me to do what was good. And it wasn't until I read the Quran, because the people initially that I was with, they were wonderful human beings, absolutely wonderful. No one offered me or tried to encourage me to do anything that would be considered harmful or immoral. But now, when you read the Quran, when you read the tafsir, you read the Quran, and you understand what it is that Allah is encouraging us to do. And you understand the benefit of Ramadan. Ramadan, you're not eating, you're not getting angry, you're not involved in anything that you can avoid. I'll put it that way, because you got to go to work. If you got to go to work, you're still obligated to go to work. We don't stop working. But it's also a time that when you sit down at the end of the day, when the sun has gone below the horizon, because that's when we break our fast. We start at Fajr, we end at what's called Maghrib. We have 5 prayers during the day. And what happens is when that sun goes down, that may be one of the few times of the year that you sit down as a family and break your fast. Now, many of you know what I'm talking about, because what happens is we get busy. If you're from a Western culture, a Western society, we get very, very busy. And families don't sit down. Like when I was a child, my family sat down and we ate together every meal. But now it's rare. Nowadays, people go to McDonald's, they go to Burger King, and I'm not giving them a plug because I don't eat in those places. A lot of Muslims do. But now Ramadan comes, everybody sits down at the table, there's a nice meal that's been prepared, everybody's anticipating it, and we're looking at each other and we're praising God, we're making dua. We're making dua. This is what Muslims all over the world are doing. All 1.5 billion of us. We make up over almost 1/4 of the world's population. And these are things that you have to be mindful of. We're not a small community of people, whether you like it or not. And we are about peace. And that day when we break our fast, that time of day when we break our fast, believe me, everybody's thankful to God for that food, even in countries where there may not be as much as there are in countries where there's a great deal of wealth. Look, next episode we'll talk about this a little bit more. And until then, I wish you peace. So now.